I started this like over 10 years ago, maybe 13 years ago when I made my first list. And I was just looking for some motivation in my life. And so I made a list, and I saw a long time ago a blog post from someone who was doing something similar. And I think they had read about it on TV or something. And so I made a list and I blogged about it for a while, while I was doing my goals. And then a lot of people contacted me and said they wanted to make a list, but they didn't have anywhere to post it, because this was a long time ago, before it was easy to blog and do these things. So I made a very basic website that linked to people's blogs, and then people wanted to have a website where all of the lists were together, so they could collaborate on things and see other people's ideas. So I gradually, over the years, I started to build it, and about 3 or 4 years ago, I made the site the way it is now, where you can. It's a really collaborative site where you can browse a lot of people's lists and make updates and upload photos and things. So it's been gradual, but yeah, it just happened over a long period of time. Ah, wow, I had yeah, that was so long ago. I did about 80% of my goals on my first list, which is actually very good because most people don't make half of their things. But some of the things, I had some travel goals. I wanted to watch a lot of different types of movies. Um, I don't I don't remember everything. I have it written down somewhere, but I have to dig it up. A lot of people have asked me to post it somewhere so they can see. It was a lot more difficult in the beginning because I had to think of ideas without being able to look at other people's lists for inspiration. So it was quite difficult to think of things to do. And that's part of the reason I created the site, because people want to look for things to do. And so it's a source of inspiration for people. Uh, wow. I think one of the goals was I wanted to see like one of my favorite musicians live. It's very difficult in New Zealand because international bands don't come down very much, and I got to see David Bowie perform, which was awesome. I don't remember. I don't remember which ones I didn't do, but when I made my second list, I managed to do everything on my list, which was which is awesome. I think once you get closer to completing things, you get more motivation to finish the things that you put on there. I think the very first time I made a list, I didn't understand how difficult it would be, and so I made too many big goals, because in reality you're doing one thing every 10 days basically, if you work it out over time. So you have to put a lot of small goals on there that are easy to do to help you motivate you to complete the bigger goals as well. No, it was much more ambitious, but I had enough small goals and big goals together to make it to motivate me. If you just have like travel somewhere and get a new job, get married, have kids, I think it's difficult to start those goals. But if you have some small things like I want to make a specific type of cake for a friend or something, you can do it in a weekend, and then that pushes you towards making progress on bigger goals. I think you need to think about what you really want to do, because uh, people get motivated by other people's ideas, but when they think about them long enough, they're not really things they want to do. They just sound like good ideas. So really take the time when you make your list to think about the things that are really important to you, that you always wanted to do, and ask yourself, is that really something I want to do? Because when you actually come to do it, you think, well, that's not really something that's important to me. And as you get halfway through the time, sometimes your goals change, and you want to. You're a different person sometimes, and you have different goals and ambitions. So allow some flexibility to change your mind about what you want to do. They were just really like, oh, just they liked the idea. They thought this is a great motivational idea, because it sets a certain amount of time that you can do your goals, and that's something that people don't really think about so much. They set a bucket list, before I die list. And so I think people they were saying this is the perfect achievable goal setting technique because I can see the finish and there's enough time to do the things that I want to do. So no, people were really positive about it, and I was surprised because it was it's a simple idea, and yet people really responded to how it related to them and what they were trying to achieve. Yeah, yeah, you can describe it in one sentence, and which is really good, and when you and people like to think about like until you actually go to write down your list, you don't think so much about what it is that you want to do. And this, for the first time, a lot of people were thinking about the goals they wanted to achieve with their life, rather than just having them go around in their head and get lost. So writing them down was such it was for a lot of people the first time they've ever written down their goals and really had to think about them. There's a real complete mixture. I think you can see on the website there's a list of the top 101 things, and I think that it's a real mixture of very small things and really ambitious things like getting married and but yeah, everyone has their own sort of style of setting goals. I think I was getting, it was at the point where I was getting so many people messaging me, wanting to have somewhere to make their lists available for other people to see. And like I said, you've got to remember, this was at a time when there wasn't really ways to publish things on the internet as easily. There was no Facebook and no ways to share that sort of information. So I felt like I was getting so many messages, and I thought, well, I'm going to make my second list now, so I'll make a way for other people to share their lists in one place. And yeah, I really enjoyed reading other people's lists as well. So it was great for me to get ideas and feel like I was giving back in some way. I've only done two, and I'm writing my third now, but I'm having difficulty thinking about what I want to do because my life is in such a crazy place right now. You know, I'm living in a country, I don't know how long I'll be here. So I'm trying to think of ideas, but it's difficult for me to think where I'm going to be in 6 months. So I need to I need to be very flexible with my goals. Maybe 40, only 40. Most of them are like travel goals because I want to see a lot of South America that I haven't seen. So yeah, I set a lot of travel goals and outdoor adventure type goals. Yeah, things that because I spend a lot of time right now on the computer and I need to get outdoors more and appreciate that I'm living in a foreign country now and I need to enjoy it. When I wrote my first list, it actually took me like 4 months to come up with enough ideas. And so this list is taking me the same amount of time. Most people, they make an account and they just start typing out their ideas and they can make a list in an afternoon. But for me, I don't know why it takes so long to think of ideas, especially when I have millions of ideas on the website to get inspiration from. But I guess I think about things too much about what I want to do. I don't know. I don't know why it's become so popular. I think uh, I don't know. I think because people just haven't thought about making a list of their goals and sharing it. It's it's simple, but I think when people see other people's goals, they're like, well, I have a lot of things I want to do as well, and they immediately sign up. I have a really good conversion rate. The first time people hear about the idea, they sign up like on the spot because they don't have to think about it. The idea is simple and they like it and they want to be a part of it as soon as they hear about it. And then some people will see it and think, no, this is just not for me. And then they leave. But the people that really understand the idea, they embrace it straight away and they really want to start making their list immediately. So I think it's just an idea that's simple and really connects with people. That's actually a funny story because when I was buying the web hosting to host the website, they were giving a free domain name. And so I had to think of a name right then for the website. And I thought of the name in like 5 minutes. and just something that was like to do with goal setting. And the idea is that you count down to zero, or you start at day zero. I don't even know. It's not important. It's just like, day zero is the day before you start the first step, or you work towards day zero. I think, I don't know. I don't really know. I think you have to really plan things quite well, because if you have goals that are, for example, travel goals, you need to really know when it's going to happen. Plan it out and think about things. You can't just make your list and then forget about it. You've still got to make a plan to achieve each of those goals. So it helps to think about scheduling some of the larger goals, and then really make an early start on some of the smaller, more achievable goals. Because, like I say, you have to do something every 10 or 11 days in order to make regular progress on it. Otherwise, it just builds up, and then in the last few months, you're trying to do all these things. So just make regular progress, and think about things, and along the way, review your goals. And if it's something you don't want to do, then the best thing to do is just change it for something that you do want to do, and rather than leave it there and think, I'm never going to be able to complete my list. Swap it up for something that's a more appropriate goal, just so you can keep making progress on things. Some people will say no, but I think it's okay, because otherwise, maybe it's just something that's never going to happen. You're never going to have a baby for whatever reason, or you didn't meet someone, so that's not going to happen. So it's okay to swap it out, and if you think so. Otherwise, you have to set goals that are very flexible early on, and I think it's up to the individual to make a decision on that. Yeah. No, that a lot of people put that on their list. It's true, because you start making it, and you make 30 things, and then you start thinking, wow, that you run out of ideas. But it's interesting, because it's true. People don't end up having a lot of goals that they want to do, and that's part of the great thing about it, is that people realize that, wow, I haven't got that many goals, and I really need to think about what's important for me in the next few years. In the short-term future, what is it that I really want to achieve? Because in reality, a lot of people's goals are all things that can be done in a weekend if they really want to do it. And people they start realizing this, and it's a great moment when you realize, well, I have this many goals, and they're all achievable, so I might as well just go and do them. And yeah, trying to fill out a list is difficult, but that's why I now enable people to make different types of lists. Something like 30 things before you turn 30 is a really good goal, because it's a smaller list, and you can put some more ambitious goals on there. And yeah, so I let people choose different styles of lists now. Yes, that's a good question. It's a good question. No, there is a perfectly good reason for that. It's because otherwise you don't think about the things that are important. If you don't write down your goals, you'll just go about your job. You'll come home. You'll cook your dinner, and you'll just go through each weekend without really making any progress towards the things that are important. So making a list steers you, and it keeps you steered in the right direction. And I don't think it's stressful. It helps you focus on am I making progress towards my goals, or am I just treading water and doing the same thing and stuck in a routine? Because when I first made my list, I felt like my life was in a routine, and making the list actually inspired me to move cities and really start living a more adventurous life, because I realized I was stuck in a cycle, and I needed to get out of it and experience different things. So no, I think yeah, everyone's busy and everyone has a lot to deal with, but I think keeping a focus on your goals is important, even when you're stressed out. Well, I think for me, I'm kind of the type of person that feels like that compulsively need to complete things. So I crossing off a list, something on a list feels good, and it motivates me to keep doing it. I'm just that type of personality myself. Like I'm learning Spanish at the moment, and I'm using a website that you have to keep going every day, and it marks it off that you're on a streak, and I'm on a 30-day streak. And that keeps me coming back every day because I want to continue to mark off that I've practiced every day so that the website says that I've, 35 days in a row. So for me to keep going on something is I don't know, it's like a compulsive need. And a lot of people aren't motivated that way. They'll make a list and then they'll forget about it and then they'll revisit it in a year's time and think, wow, all my goals have changed, and and then they make another list. And either way, it helps people think about what's important. It's really strange for me because I'm just one person who made this website, and I'm one person supporting the whole community, and so it's very strange that I've somehow I don't know, in some way affected the lives of tens of thousands of people who have made all these lists, and it's really a strange feeling for me because. And I like to watch as people add goals all the time. I can watch real time as the goals get added, and I know it's a really good feeling knowing that I've helped people think about what their goals are in some way. It's a small thing for mankind, but I feel good about it because I get to see I don't know, just see what people are interested in doing, and also look at the different trends around the world and how people set goals differently, and yeah, and uh, just try and understand what's important to different people.
You said you see the differences between the different challenges in
Mm.
different parts of the world. Could you name some of them?
Ooh, I think well, I think a lot of, for example, the people in the US set a lot of goals, family-orientated goals, a lot more. We have a very high percentage of women in the community, and they set a lot of goals to do with building their family and friendships. And then in other countries, in Europe, a lot of travel goals, a lot more, I don't know, uh, sort of experiencing the world more, whereas American people are more centric to the US, and they want to celebrate their lifestyle more than I don't know, the ambitions of other countries. And I like to. There's a lot of different lists in other languages, so I like to try and read and understand what what those languages are, and yeah, we have a big community. In the Netherlands is huge, and Brazil also. So yeah, it's fascinating for me to just see the different people, and yeah, just uh, I don't know. It feels like it's connecting people together somehow. I get people will often they'll send me an email. They say how much they like the idea, and then they make a suggestion of what they would like to something they would like to do. Like a lot of people want the mobile app, so they'll send a message saying, this has been great and it's helped me do these things. And oh, by the way, it would be great if you had a mobile application, or if I could do this with my list. So I think yeah, I get regular emails, and it feels really good because I know that it's real people making suggestions and ideas, and I love to hear feedback because, like as I say, I'm just one person making ideas on the website and trying to decide what things to make, what features to add next. So I rely on people to tell me, what it is that they want to do with the website. What other features do they want to add, and how do they want to use it? So it's great to have people send messages and give me ideas. I don't know. I hope so. I hope so. You're always a better person when you start learning about other people and connecting with other people and trying to understand people better. And so, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it's made me a better person somehow.